All right, so hello everyone. I'm going to be doing the group predictions, Group G predictions for the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup. So the teams are Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. And the one thing that is, eye-catching about this group is and nobody talks about it. They just assume that this is very a low excitement group, and it's not necessarily like that. I think the issue with this group is something that is not excitement related. In fact, it could be the opposite. It's the relative defensive vulnerability of each side, one more vulnerable than the other. All of them have their own defensive issues. Some a mix of that and coaching, tactical issues. And, starting with Belgium, uh, they actually have an attack that can reach quarterfinals or semifinals just relying on that alone. With Doku, Trossard, Luka Bacchio, Openda, uh, Lukaku, De Bruyne, Onana. The very decent attack that's rebuilt itself over the years following, that era where Eden Hazard was the best player. They've done a good job rebuilding, but the defense is a bunch of Belgian Pro League players who are very average. You know, not the worst in this group, but definitely is going to be what stops them from achieving, what teams like France, Portugal, Argentina, or England, or Spain, what these teams achieve. And that's why quarterfinals or semis is appropriate for this Belgian side. And I will do like other group predictions, the best thirds, and like separate, and the knockout bracket prediction separately. This is just dedicated to Group G. With Egypt, uh, you got Hani, Fatih, El Shanawi in goal. A defense that's not bad and not like particularly great, reasonable. Um, for them, it's also like Marmoush and Salah. Uh, Marmoush plays with Doku at Man City. Salah's in the Prem at Liverpool and he's leaving, but most of his career he was at Liverpool. And we saw how they did in the AFCON. Kind of carry their team when they need them. Nobody thought they would finish in the semis. Um, Egypt is actually pretty solid in the attack in the way where they make up for their defensive deficiencies. Their attack is a bit less as strong as Belgium, but decent. They also got Imam Ashur, who's very underrated, playing behind Marmoush and Salah in like a 4-3-1-2 formation, I think. Moving on to Iran, I actually think their defense is worse than New Zealand because on paper they're equal to maybe actually a bit better than New Zealand defensively. But New Zealand has much more defensive structure than Iran does. Don't get me wrong, Galinoy's 5-4-1 is brilliant, especially with the way they utilize the wing backs and Ramin Rezayan, Milad Mohammadi, pacey fullbacks that are more attack minded. It kind of puts them in that position of their preference. But the center backs are always an issue. Kanani and Khalilzadeh, I saw the preliminary 30-man list, and it looked more like, which player had more ties to the government rather than who was actually in good form. And in all departments, but the defense was the most concerning. Daniel Erie was the only thing to be happy about, seeing a youngster from Malavan get called up. Uh, Salman Fala did not get called up. That was a disappointment. And then Hasbavi Zare, Hosseini got injured. Experience as high as 29 years, nothing more than that. And Hosseini is who you want if you want to blend youth with experience. Like let's say Hosseini and Fallah, not Ne'mati, Khalilzadeh, Kanani, you know uh, Ruzbe Cheshmi. What are these guys? Even if you make knockouts, you're not gonna last long for multiple reasons. I mean, Khalilzadeh and Kanani are very red card prone. Where's the depth? Erie is new to the game at this level. Young players are good, but that's a downside. And when you bring young players, are you going to even play them? You're going to have to if Kenani and Khalilzadeh get sent off for being hot-headed. Um, and, awful defense, horrible. but their attack is cooking, you know. Taremi, Azmoun can't be in this World Cup because he went against the regime. Golizada got injured, but you still got Dennis Eckert Dargahi, who's a new addition. He played in the Belgian Pro League, and he was a baller back, a couple seasons back in Union St. Galois. Now he's at Standard Liège, and he got 5 goals, and all of them came when he heard that he was going to get called up. So to be honest, he wasn't in great form this season. That was a couple seasons back. He was in his prime. But like the center backs from Belgium are the Belgian Pro League players that he comes up against. You know, we might need him against that match, and we're gonna go into the prediction that kind of tells us how he's gonna do. The midfield, Torabia was a concern. I don't think he should be there. Razarinia, just like Erie, is a youngster we want to see. Gorbani. There's no Kushki in the attack. There's no Gandipur. Again, it wasn't performance based, and it matters a lot with Iran because when a defense is this bad, you really, really need to outscore opponents to make up for it. And as you can see in the end result here, they neither outscore nor do they fall that much behind. And they just look like a 2 to 4 point type of side, and it depends on the Belgian match. If you lose, you're gonna get 2 points, right? If you lose, you're going to get 2 points, right? And if you lose and then you draw New Zealand, you've already drawn Egypt. 2 draws and a loss is 2 points. If you beat New Zealand, lose, and tie Egypt, you get 4 points. If you can tie all three as well. I can put a tie for New Zealand and Belgium, and that's 3 points. 5 points, I cannot see it, but if they upset Belgium and get 2 draws here, so the first match might be disappointing, but look at the Belgium one. That's the most important one. I truly think that Iran is a side that is 2 to 4 points, not good and not bad. Pushing closer to bad in the recent years. I would not be surprised if they get 2 draws and a loss. Um, and then New Zealand, not big name players, you know. But they actually got some structure. Opposite of Iran. I mean, vulnerable though, just not good enough. Iran has some big names, but like they play so bad, you know. Uh, I think, going to the match day one. It looks like 2-1 to Belgium. Maybe, just maybe, a 1-1 draw. Last time they played, Egypt upset Belgium, but I don't know how serious of a match that was. And I think that it's either a narrow Belgium win or a draw against Egypt. I think it's a draw. I think like Doku and Marmoush will score, or Doku Salah, Trossard Salah, Luka Bacchio Salah. I mean, Imam Ashur is definitely going to get involved in this. This Marmoush and Salah. Uh, there is a chance of an upset. I know they tied Spain, but that may not have been Spain's best attempt. You never know. But Spain are a lot better than Belgium, so even if like it's their B or C team, I think it's equal to Belgium. And there is a chance. I think it's going to be a draw. And then Iran, I think realistically, it's either going to be a 1-1 draw or a 2-1 victory, right? And basically, they're so defensively bad that even New Zealand, will open the scoring first against them. In all of these, Iran will concede first for sure. Um, but Golizada being injured sucks because every World Cup they had one solid X factor. Vahid Amiri 2018, Golizada 2022. Golizada again was in good form, but he got injured, and I was happy because we had Moebi Gaedi, Dennis Eckert, a bunch of other good wingers too. And because he's gone, I think it's this is Gaedi and Taremi doing all the work here, or Gaedi, Taremi, and Morebi, and they come back to make it 2-1, or just get one back. There is a chance for a draw. I'm gonna say Iran wins. New Zealand, Egypt. Egypt has to wait to get their first victory, and I think this is a different type of 2-1 than Iran, New Zealand, in the sense that Egypt opens the scoring, they're dominating. They maybe give away the ball once, and Chris Wood uh, scores. I think Chris Wood will score in both. But then, they will get a late winner through Marmoush or Salah. And then Belgium, Iran. This looks more like it looks close here, but it's literally just like 3-0 to Belgium. And then I said Dennis Eckert, he comes off the bench. And then Taremi, and then maybe one of Moebi or Gaedi again. They all combine in different plays, and they get 2 consolation goals. It's a dominant display by Belgium. Kenani and Khalilzadeh embarrass this team, but Iran kinda gets one back, so it's 3 points and a neutral goal difference, just like 2018. But it is not that easy, but it's an easier group. They should do better. And then New Zealand, Belgium. You know, they got some structure, but Belgium's attack is too much, and they get two back too. Uh, yeah, not too great for New Zealand. I think they lose all three matches. And Egypt, Iran, Egypt is a bit better than Iran in every department. They have the edge in every department. Um, I think Ashu, Marmoush, and Salah are gonna put Egypt 2-0 up or 1-0 up. Right, I'm gonna say 2-0 up at halftime. It's gonna be very embarrassing for Iran. I'd say 2-0 up by the 50-60th. After that, Iran throws numbers forward, and they use desperate measures like Taremi diving, getting penalty calls his way. This is just going to be a Taremi moment, and because Azmoun, there's only one striker. I'd rather have Azmoun play if it's going to be one striker. But Taremi by himself is still better than both. Um, and we have to admit that. We've seen in USA and Portugal. He gets one penalty his way, and then the second one is probably going to be like a Cheshmi, Nurafkan, Izzatullahi, like some outside the box shot that gives Iran that 1 point they need to send them through as a best third. And it reflects in the table. Belgium, their attack is as deficient there in the defense. Their attack is too good, plus 3 goal difference. Egypt, pretty neutral, attack edges a bit. And Iran, awful defense, attacks cooking, they neutralize. And New Zealand, it's almost like they get beat up and then they get half of the goals that they conceded back. So 7 for Belgium, 2 for Egypt, 4 for Iran, and 0 for New Zealand. And Iran can go through as a best third place, and they can still get a favorable route. I know Illinois gets a favorable route. People see Switzerland, Group B. What if Canada surprises? And I'm not trying to jump on the hype, but like there's a possibility there. And Canada's a bit better than Iran. It's kind of like Egypt, Iran. But if like Iran tie Canada and send it to PKs, Bayernven's not in great form, but he's shown multiple times, not just 2018, that he's clutch at PK saving. So that could take Iran to around the 16. And as I said, I'm going to do these groups and bracket predictions separately. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.